In this video, we will tell you the story of a company that marked an era and disappeared because it was surpassed by technology. We're talking about the downfall of Blockbuster, a video rental giant that lost out to streaming services. Hello everyone, welcome to our channel. If you're new here, kindly hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell to get more videos like this. Let's get started without further ado. Who has not ever been to a Blockbuster? Everyone born before the turn of the millennium has set foot in a Blockbuster store. For many people, it was the typical Friday or Saturday night plan, both to do a movie marathon on your own or to see a movie with the family. Years ago, the American chain Blockbuster closed its stores around the world, but it is a company that marked an era, and it is interesting to remember its history to understand what happened. Blockbuster history. Blockbuster LLC, also known as Blockbuster Video, was an American video store franchise. Blockbuster had brick-and-mortar stores where users went to find the movies they wanted to see, but it also worked with a mail order and video-on-demand service. Blockbuster was founded by David Cook in 1985. After being acquired by Viacom, the company came to control about 25% of the global video store market share. By 2004, it had more than 9,000 stores distributed in different cities around the world. Blockbuster was swept up in the 2000s by new forms of electronic consumption, such as Netflix mail order rentals, the DVD price war, copyright infringement, and eventually internet video on-demand services. In 2010, it declared bankruptcy with a debt of more than $1 billion. Although Dish Network took over the company to turn it into a streaming service, the plans did not prosper. The 300 owned stores the company still operated were closed in January 2014, and only one franchise store remains in Bend, Oregon, United States, which maintains the brand thanks to a specific agreement with Dish. This is how Blockbuster was born and grew. David Cook was the one who founded the company in 1985. Cook used his knowledge of databases to create a home theater rental franchise, at that time a sector as profitable as it was fragmented. Thus was born Blockbuster, which opened its first video store in Dallas on October 19, 1985. To distinguish itself from its competition, the store adapted to demand with a larger catalog of up to 6,500 titles, longer rentals so that the client could take several movies, and greater inventory control through its automated system, with which it detected consumer preferences. In less than 2 years, Blockbuster already had 15 owned stores and 20 franchised ones. In 1987, Cook sold a majority stake in Blockbuster to an investment group led by Wayne Huizenga for $18 million and a percentage of profits. In addition to maintaining the founder's ideas, Huizenga designed an expansion plan to turn Blockbuster into a benchmark for video stores. A new distribution system, purchases of rival franchises, and agreements with film producers were some of the measures taken by the new direction of Blockbuster. In addition to turning it into a profitable business, in 1989 it had exceeded 1,000 establishments, and in 1990 international expansion began with openings in Europe and Latin America. Viacom acquired Blockbuster in 1994 for more than $7.7 billion. A year earlier, Huizenga had proposed a merger by exchange of shares so that they could finance the purchase of Paramount Communications with their cash flow. However, the group's shareholders took him to court, and the operation was blocked for a year until a judge authorized it. In 1997, the board of directors appointed John Antico as CEO, who successfully redirected the business into movie rental, first on VHS and then on DVD. A year later, Blockbuster still controlled 25% of the worldwide business, thanks in part to a new profit-sharing agreement with the major producers, and Viacom made a public sale offering that raised more than $465 million. Blockbuster had the opportunity in the year 2000 to have bought Netflix, which at the time was a home rental service, for just over $50 million. However, Antico rejected it because he saw it as more profitable for customers to go to the store. 4 years later, Netflix would end up surpassing 1 million subscribers, and Blockbuster had to launch a hybrid online rental service, Blockbuster Total Access, the result of which it was very deficient despite the high number of users. Video stores began to fall out of favor around 2004, and that's when Viacom put Blockbuster up for sale after posting losses of more than $300 million. Blockbuster bankruptcy and downfall. Since the mid-2000s, Blockbuster has been unable to face the obsolescence of the physical format in the face of new forms of consumption as disparate as cable television, self-service kiosks, video on demand, and even copyright infringement, author before which he had not foreseen a strategy. In some countries, such as Spain and Ecuador, it was immediately withdrawn from the market, while in others, such as Mexico and Argentina, it had to be resized. On September 23, 2010, Blockbuster declared bankruptcy, even though over 3,000 stores were still operating in the United States at the time. Despite several attempts to restructure its debt, in March 2011, the U.S. Department of Justice ruled that the company should be liquidated. This was the disappearance of Blockbuster. Blockbuster was absorbed in April 2011 by Dish Network, which was the largest provider of pay television in the United States for $320 million. The initial objective of this measure taken about Blockbuster was to comply with the gradual closure of the 1,700 physical stores that remained and to preserve the brand to launch a video-on-demand service that would compete with Netflix. However, the plans did not prosper, and 2 years later, the complete closure of all video stores was announced in January 2014. All 300 company-owned locations in the United States were closed, but Dish Network allowed some franchisees to continue under the Blockbuster brand through a commercial agreement. As of the end of 2017, 11 Blockbuster video stores were still open in the United States. 7 of them are located in Alaska, where internet rates are more expensive than in the rest of the country. 3 are in Oregon, and the last one is in Edinburgh, Texas. As of July 2018, the only Blockbuster in Bend, Oregon, which functions as a tourist attraction and does not belong to Dish, remained open. In the rest of the countries, the brand suffered the same fate, in this case without Dish giving them the name. In Mexico, Grupo Salinas renamed all the establishment as The B Store in 2015, although the following year they would end up disappearing. Blockbuster had movie theaters. In 2007, the company opened its first movie theater complex, the Blockbuster Cinema, in Cholula in the Mexican state of Puebla. He also announced that based on the results of this complex, they would evaluate the opening of other similar ones. Due to conflicts with its partners, at the end of 2009, the operation of the complex in Cholula, which had 11 theaters, passed into the hands of Cinépolis. In 2013, the company inaugurated new complexes in Mexico City and Guadalajara, also announcing an expansion plan throughout the country that included a dozen new cinemas. From 6,000 stores to 1, Blockbuster's video decline. Blockbuster Video opened its first video store in Dallas in October 1985 and, at its peak, had 6,000 stores. Streaming competition wounded him to death. The past. Almost everyone has been to a video store at some point in their life. If you want to do it now, you won't be able to. Sitting comfortably at home, he presses a button on the remote control and chooses which movie to watch on his television. Any millennial or older generation will remember spending the afternoon wandering the aisles of a video store to choose what to watch that night, and it didn't matter if they later watched a horrible movie, as indicated by the site 20 Minutes. The charm was to go around the video store. The rise of these huge catalogs of television series and movies led to the decline in video stores. And this is demonstrated by a video that shows the growth and decline of the Blockbuster Video that existed in the United States between 1986 and 2019. Blockbuster becomes an extinct giant. As Fleet Logging explains, this video store franchise opened its first location in Dallas in October 1985, and while not the first existing brand, it did have the largest selection of titles. By 1990, they already had more than 1,000 stores throughout the country and continued to grow until 2005, where they reached more than 5,700 stores. As competition from Netflix and Redbox increased, Blockbuster began closing stores. By the end of 2010, the company had declared bankruptcy and was purchased by Dish Network, who intended to keep 1,500 stores open to compete with Netflix. However, this plan failed and only one Blockbuster video store remains open today in Bend, Oregon. The store has implemented safety measures in response to the COVID-19 pandemic, including marked floors to encourage social distancing and cleaning DVDs and Blu-rays with Clorox wipes. The store also offers home delivery and a new takeout system where customers can order movies over the phone and receive them through a window without the need for contact. Despite the challenges, the store continues to attract local customers and tourists who enjoy the nostalgic experience of browsing a physical video store. The store has launched a marketing campaign that emphasizes the social connections and personal touch that come with renting physical media rather than relying on virtual algorithms. Due to restrictions that resulted in the closure of the local movie distributor, Harding had to adjust his usual acquisition process. Instead of starting with 30 DVD copies and 12 to 14 Blu-ray copies, he now goes to various retailers in town, including Walmart, Target, and Fred Meyer, and he only buys 5 or 10 copies of each. Retailers are not fond of him buying all their stock, so he makes sure to leave some movies for the regular customers as well. Overall, Blockbuster's downfall can be attributed to a few factors. Firstly, the company failed to quickly adapt to the changing market as digital media became increasingly popular and convenient for customers. Blockbuster initially relied heavily on physical stores to rent and sell movies, which became less and less popular as streaming services like Netflix and Hulu emerged. Additionally, Blockbuster's late fees and other policies caused frustration among customers, and the company was unable to compete with more flexible and customer-friendly alternatives. Finally, the high overhead costs of maintaining large stores and massive inventory, combined with a large debt load, ultimately led to the company's bankruptcy. That's all for today, folks. Thank you for spending some time with us. If you found this video interesting, let us know what you think in the comment box. Make sure to hit the like button and notification bell, and subscribe to our channel to get access to more interesting videos from us. While you are here, kindly click on one of the other 2 videos you see on your screen. See you there!